Okay. We're in the middle of Aleph, right?
Yeah.
So we're discussing the Memches Dvarim Sha'Torah Niknes Bahem that are Memches Midas. They're different attributes. And when a person has these 48 attributes, he makes himself into a vessel that can absorb and properly understand and connect with the Torah as it comes from the highest places. Noizla min levanoin. Hainu, that's what we said. Hainu, I'm smack in the middle of Aleph, the second to last paragraph. Hainu mehamokim ha'elyon shenitin lanu lachshav olavu oimek ritzayna yizbarach shalamayla mizeh leis machshava tfisa ve'osur lachshav sham. A person learns Torah properly. They're absorbing Torah from the highest place possible for a human being to absorb from. Beyond Torah is already HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Upashidu ve'ein tzarech loymar. Klal. It's obvious and completely unnecessary to say. And yet I'm going to say it. Ki memches dvarim eile einam chas v'shalom tachlif liyadias kol ha'Torah kula. These 48 things are not chas v'shalom in place of, like I'm not going to learn the whole Torah, but I'll do the memches dvarim. It's not in place of learning Torah. Elana poichu. The truth is the exact opposite. Acharei yadias kol ha'Torah kula. After we know that we have to learn the entire Torah, tzarech haTalmud Chacham oid. In addition to learning the whole Torah, we have to learn the whole Torah. But in addition to learning the whole Torah, a Talmud Chacham needs liyos mushlam b'chol ha'memches dvarim. A Talmud Chacham needs to be whole in all 48 things. Umehem yishav oimek ritzayna yizbarach, and from them he will draw from the depth of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Ratzon. V'al yedei zeh yeda lasos b'yam ha'talmud derech, and through this he will know how to forge a path through the Yam HaTalmud. This is such an interesting thing that I saw last night. Somebody said, Hashem, one of the Gedolei Achronim, you know, like when we learn a Sugya in Yavamis, so there's like almost this like sense, especially when you learn Sugyas that yeshivas have learned, you know, for 100 years, Be'iyah, and then on the shelf there's every Rosh Hashiva and what the shiurim he gave. And when you come to the Sugya, you're like, okay, you'll listen to Shir, you'll know what was said, you'll learn a couple of Mar Makaimos, you'll know the Sugya. So one of these Gedolei Achronim said, that's not the way a Yid learns Torah. A Yid learns Torah, then when you sit down to the Sugya, this Sugya has never been seen by human eyes before. You learn the Torah as if yesterday we got the Torah, and today you're like, whoa, Yavamis, incredible. You open it up. Omar Rabbi Yehuda, Omar Rav. What did Rabbi Yehuda, Omar Rav say? No one's ever heard this. You know, Ashrei ha'oznayim shekach shamu. And that's how you go through the Sugya. And you find a path through the Sugya that's not Rav Baruch Ber's path, and it's not the Rashba's path. Maybe sometimes we have to rely on them to direct us and guide us. But it's my path. It's the Torah Hashem gave me. Because the Torah that Hashem gave you is the Torah, of course it's one Torah, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants my understanding of the Torah, that's one Torah, and Hashem wants your understanding of the Torah, and that's your Torah. And if you settle with my understanding of the Torah, you're settling. And that's what he's saying. We use the Midas, Sha'Torah Niknes Bahem, to make ourselves Kalim, that we can apply ourselves to the Torah, and we can find our path that matches our way of thinking, and our yashros, and our svara, and our netiyah, and that's a lifelong project to learn sugyas, and to find, not just to find the sugya, but to find yourself in the sugya. The al yedei zeh yeda lasos b'yam ha'talmud derech, how to find a path in the ocean of the Talmud. Ubemayim azim, and in the strong waters shall pilpul ha-Torah, of the discussions, of the fiery discussions of Torah, as hanesiva hamevia lahalacha brura, the path that brings to clear halacha. shehi Soid Hashem Lireyav, which is Soid Hashem Lireyav. Hashem shares the secret with those who fear Him. Kememra de Marzutra b'Sanhedrin Kuvav Amid Beis. Okay, Beis. Okay, following on the same logic. Kol Esek HaTorah. The entire Esek HaTorah, involvement in Torah, Hu Biru Ritzono Yizbarach. It's a clarification of Hashem's will. B'chol sugya v'sugya, in each and every sugya, be'oimek ha'iyun v'ha'yigia, in the depth of iyun and yigia, toil, u'b'yashrus ha'seichel. Hayidiyah ha'rechava, v'ha'havana ha'amuka, two things, right? Broad knowledge and deep understanding, yoitzrei says Talmud Chacham, they form the Talmud Chacham. Be patient. Apply yourself to learning. Demand clarity. Even if it takes a while. And try to focus on two priorities. Number one, unrelenting clarity. Again and again and again. Until it's completely clear. Reb Chaim Shmulevitz, Zeichat Tzadik Livracha, was a young boy, and he became a Yassim. He used to learn Torah. I think he worked during the day before he went to yeshiva. He used to learn Torah in a shul when he was young, and when he walked home at the end, after he was all exhausted and it was time to go to sleep, so he would walk home, and every time he passed another landmark, he would say, "Oh, a lamppost. What a good place to chazer the sugya." And he would go over again what the Seder. Abaya, Rava, Rav, Shmuel, Rosh, Ran. Again, just again and again and again. No magic. Just going through it again. Getting it clear. Building the clarity, the pshat. Then he would get to a fence, and he'd be like, "Oh, a fence. What an appropriate place to chazer the sugya." And he would chazer again. I think it was with the chavrusa, that part. They would walk together, and they would chazer. When he got back to wherever he stayed, wherever his house was, he would get into bed, he would put his face into the pillow, and he would scream the sugya into the pillow until he fell asleep. And you're shocked that he became Reb Chaim Shmulevitz? Of course someone who does that becomes Reb Chaim Shmulevitz. Because he was unrelenting in his pursuit of yediyos and pshat. And that's these words. Hayediyah harechava, broad knowledge. The ha'havana ha'amuka, and deep understanding. Yoitzreis es ha-Talmud Chacham, they form the Talmud Chacham. U'kemoisha ha-Talmud Chacham, and just like the Talmud Chacham. Murgal levarer sugyas hashas. He's accustomed to clarifying sugyas of shas. B'chipus ha'emes la'amita shel Torah, by searching for truth and the truth of Torah. Again, unrelenting clarity. Do we do that? Unrelenting. You know what happens in yeshiva? It happens to you. Everyone's nodding that they understand it. So you're like, Vayifen koi v'choy, vayarki einish. You're like, yeah, I guess I understand it too. Don't do that. Have confidence. Call it out. If the emperor has no clothes, the emperor has no clothes. Call it out. This doesn't make sense. I don't understand what A has to do with B. I don't understand how the Svara tracks. I don't understand how it makes sense. Maybe it's your mistake, or maybe it's Rabbi Akiva Eiger's kasha. It doesn't really matter. Either way, it needs to be clarified. And you go through it again. Just like the Talmud Chacham is accustomed to clarifying the sugyas of Shas in search of the truth, Lamita Shel Torah, Kachu Mevarer Gamkein Sugyos Chayov La'oira Shel Torah Ad Shehu Chay Ba'olam Barer. This is one of the very big fundamental yisodos of the Mashgiach of Rav Wolbe, that just like a Talmud Chacham clarifies the Torah with his life, he clarifies his life with the Torah. And through learning sugyas, his own life starts to become clear. And he understands himself better. And he connects himself to the clear world of the Hashkafa of Torah. The Kachisa b'Psachim Nun Amen Aleph. Rabbi Yosef ben Noid Rabbi Shua ben Levi Cholash ve'Isnigid. Rabbi Yosef ben Noid, Rabbi Shua ben Levi got sick and he died. Ki Hadar, when he returned, so nice how the Gemara was like, yeah, well, obviously at Ches HaMesim, when he returned, Omar Le'avua, his father said to him, My chazis, this is a Gemara in the first parak of Bava Basra as well. My chazis, what did you see there in Shamayim? Omar Le, he answered his father, Oilam hafuch ra'isi. I saw an upside down world. When I came to Shamayim, I saw an upside down world. Elyoinim lamata. Those who in this world are considered prestigious and famous and respectable. In Shamayim, they're nobodies. V'tachtoinim l'mayla, and those that in this world are despised and pushed to the side and unnoticed. In Shamayim, they hold them in very high esteem. Omar Loi, his father said to him, Beni, my son, you didn't see an upside down world. Oilam barur ra'isa, you saw a clear world. You just saw, this world is a very fake world. You saw with clarity. But what about us, Chachmei Yisrael? How did we look up there? Va'anan heichi hasam, and we, how are we there? Ki heichi de isu anan hacha, hachi isinon hasam. Just like we are down here, that's what we are up here. Nothing changed. In other words, we live a life of such emes, that the emes is emes in this world and the next world. V'shamati shahayu aimrim, and I heard that they were saying, Ashrei Misha Balakan, fortunate is someone who comes here, v'talmudai biyadai, and his learning is in his hand, meaning his learning is in his hand, meaning that is how he became the Kemoisha Anan Hacha Hachi Isinan Hasan. We are people that are consistent in where we are and who we are and how we understand our place in the world, because we learn Torah v'talmudai biyadai, because of our mesiras to Torah. Kan gilu Chazal, over here Chazal revealed, Ki talmidei chachamim chayim kan ba'olam hazeh. Talmidei chachamim live in this world. Rabbi say this is a very, very, very special madrega, and anyone is invited to be on this madrega. We just have to apply ourselves to our learning. Talmidei chachamim live in this world ba'olam barur, in a clarity, in a clear world. Asher shar b'nei odam magiyam elav rak ba'olam ha'emes, that most people reach in the olam ha'emes. I want to give you a mashal. I was reading a book last night about fascinating, inspiring book. You should all read it. The recent Art Scroll book about Rav Elia Meir Sorotskin, the Rosh Yeshiva of Springfield. He was nifter a few years ago. And I think I knew when his yeshiva started, it started in Ateret Torah in Flatbush by the Sfardim, and I used to hang out there a little bit. So at the time, when I was younger, I was vaguely aware that there was a yeshiva, starting yeshiva, a place, whatever. I didn't know that much about it. I was reading the book. There's a lot of very, 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 very inspiring things there. It's not the type of book that I'm usually interested in, but I can't put it down. Anyway, but okay, I'll talk about the stories about him another time. But what I want to say is that just a silly story, a small story, but it brings out a point of Eilam Barer. It means so much more than what I'm saying now, but just to get some sense, what do I mean by clarity? Just to understand what I mean. Just that we should go to the Lag BaOmer with a bren, you know? Can't be in front of a fire without a bren. You know what bren means? Yeah, but it means, bren is a lashon of burning. Like a flame. Fabrent means burned up. So it's something called a fabrenta chassid, like a consumed chassid. Anyway, so it says there that when his son got married, the Kala was from the mishpach of the Rosh Yeshiva in Tel Chicago. So the chassid was in Chicago, and usually the chassid's family will show up the night before and stay in a hotel and go do makeup and gowns and Rabbi Meir had to say shir that morning of the chasana. It's a Thursday morning. He insisted it has to be before an off Shabbos. The Thursday morning he has to say shir. So he said he's going to come after shir. Like, what if the plane is delayed? Like, I don't know what to tell you. I have to come after shir. He showed up to Chicago the day of his son's. It says in the book, the day of his son's chasana at 4:45 p.m. You understand what that means? I made some chasanas. Okay, my heart started racing. Okay, the chassid's father showed up at 4:45 p.m. to the airport. Crazy story, right? Wow, he was really extreme. This is the point I want to bring out. Is it really a crazy story? Is there really in the world something more important than teaching Torah to Talmidim and giving them a grasp of the Eitz Chaim of their entire future? Is there really anything more important? Tell me really. There's nothing more important. But it's your son's wedding. Okay, very nice. So it'll be delayed, but I have them. If the president's son is getting married and war breaks out, do you think he'll be like, I'm sorry, it's my son's wedding? No. He'll say the wedding will happen later. I got to deal with the war, right? Because that's the most important thing in the world. What's the truth? The real truth, not the come on, be normal. I know, come on. I tried that. I do that. Come on, be normal. But let's put aside come on, be normal for a minute, and let's think about what is the real emes. When we go up to Shemayim, what's going to be the most important thing? The shir, no? So he just lived in this world with the pashtus of what's going to be obvious in the next world. Isn't that a life? Amazing. A couple of months ago, I was here in yeshiva very, very, very late at night, taking care of doing something. So I decided I went back to Waterbury very, very late at night. I didn't say shir the next day. Rosh Yeshiva called me over, so I saw you didn't say shir. I said it's impossible. I was up very, very late. Then I traveled 2 hours back to Waterbury, and it was a month of Shabbos. I had been here since Thursday. Okay, so I was here Thursday, Friday, Shabbos. I hadn't been home. I got home like 1 o'clock in the morning, month of Shabbos. I didn't say shir on Sunday. So he said, I understand. He said, you don't mind if I give you Musa, right? Rosh Yeshiva. I love it. How many 50-year-olds get a chance to have someone be their Rebbe? He said, in this yeshiva, shir is sacrosanct, which is an English word that you should look up. Okay? But it means there was nothing more important. We give shir. He said, you need your sleep, and you have to have kayach. He knows that I'm not him. So he said, you shouldn't have stayed Matzah Shabbos. I, the yeshiva, needed you. We don't need anything more important than that you should say shir. I haven't missed a shir since, okay? Because my boss told me that this was the most important thing, and I feel good about it. Like I had 25 guys for Shabbos. What did I do on Sunday? I came here and I gave shir. I would have never done that. I had 25 guys for Shabbos. I think I deserve a little break. I was basically giving shir the whole Shabbos. But the Rosh Yeshiva taught me there's nothing more important than shir. You know why? Because that's truth. That's emes. I'm fortunate to get Musar. I have no resentment. I would not be saying it and letting it be recorded if I had a resentment about it. Because it's truth. Olam Barur is the clarity of the real value system that's real, the emes value system guiding me in this world, and then showing up in the next world and like, well, hello, yeah, well, obviously, that was the real value system, so it's the real value system here either. But we fall prey to a childish value system, and that ends up affecting us, and we get up there and we're like suddenly shocked. What's going on here? Because the value's changed. That's Olam Barur. Good mashal, right?